So I'm starting this one with a Zenithal highlight of a dark brown undertone, and then I did like a wraithbone or a tan ivory color on the upper surfaces to start this one off. And then I'm starting with Army Painter's Speed Paint Glittering Gold, and we're gonna paint this one all over the body armor, and all the bits that would be particularly gold. I'm going to be mostly using Army Painter paints. There'll be a couple of opaque paints that I'll bring into this speed paint tutorial as well. And I'll use primarily Pro Acryl paints, but you can pick relation, similar colors from other companies. Alright, so after getting that base coat of glittering gold down, I need to give an all over wash. So here I'm going to use Army Painter Flesh Wash, which I wish may be just a tad on the redder side, but it works out just fine. So just washing all over. It is a fairly thin wash, so I don't have to worry about um, bringing back the tonation, the color of the gold. So after the wash is done, I am gonna grab my Vallejo Air Mail or Air Game Air paint and do a light dry brushing, trying to just pick the the raised points of the armor, to just bring out a little bit of contrast from that gold, give it that like point shine of shining points of highlight that you often see with a metallic paint. All right, from there, I'm going to go back to the Army Painter Speed Paint, and I'm going to use this Broadsword Silver, and I'm going to pick out any of the details that are either going to be silver, or I'm going to paint back over with a black color, just trying to give it a metallic or silvery undercoat, just in case the the black speed paint shows through. It gives it a little bit more of a metallic-y look there. So I've got silver on his power weapon here, and then he's got the tubes that wrap around the bottom, I guess the middle part of his armor, and then on his face. All right, so from there, I've got Army Painter Speed Paint Burnished Red, which kind of has this reddish brown tone, which I feel like does a pretty good job for leathers and straps. So here he's got this leather tabard that I'm going to paint, and he's also got gloves and the, I guess, the non-metal part of his knife sheath, and then any of the grips. So the um, knife grip, and then the grips that are shown on his power weapon all get this burnished red color. All right, from there, I'm going to use this Fire Giant Orange, and I'm going to end up doing 2 layers on this plume that's on his helmet. Um, I'm attempting, but the second coat that I'm going to use is red on here, but what I'm attempting is try to give a little bit of highlights with this orange color on that plume. So while that's drying, I'm going with the Grim Black by Army Painter Speed Paint. And here we're going to paint over some of that silver I already painted, but to give the power weapon kind of that black look. And because of the semi-transparent nature of these speed paints, that's why I did the silver undercoat initially with that. I also address the Under Armour as well. So this is where I paint that also. And then here's one of the opaque paints that I'm going to use. I used Acryl's Bold Titanium White, and I'm just picking out the little spheres that are on his armor that are going to get a speed paint placed on top of that. You can use your white color of choice here. Oh, and I also paint over the end of his power weapon with the white as well to give a little bit brighter undercoat for the later speed paint. All right, and then the Army Painter Speed Paint Slaughter Red. I'm going to go back over that plume. I'm going to try my best to kind of keep some of that orange on the higher points of his plume and get this red down in the recess as best I can to kind of give it a contrast a little bit. All right, and then I'm bringing out the Plasmatic Bolt Army Painter Speed Paint, and this is what my primary base coat is of those little orbs that I already painted and his power weapon, just to kind of give those white points, those little orbs, kind of this greenish color. I'm going to do a secondary tone as well, just kind of give it a little bit of shadowing on the lower parts of these orbs as well, and also basing the power weapon. All right, the next one is Raging Sea. So this is that little bit darker color that I'm just barely dabbing the very bottom of these little orbs and giving the power weapon a little bit of a shadow in the lower parts as well. This part you could probably skip, just kind of personal preference, but I felt like the power weapons and those orbs need a little bit more contrast on them. In the next step, I went with Pro Acryl's White Blue, so this is another opaque option. You could very well do this same step using just pure white, I believe, but I like the slight hint of blue that the blue-white has. And with this, I'm edge highlighting the power weapon and putting little squiggles, little lightning patterns on that power weapon as well. And then I will also, here in a minute, just dot the very top, kind of the higher portion, lighter portion of those little orbs that he's got on his armor too. In these last few steps, this is just basing the miniatures. So this is kind of however you choose to base your minis so they match the others. But my go-to method is to start with this Pro Acryl fine basing texture. This is Gray Earth fine basing texture. Just use this for my sci-fi minis as kind of a gray ground look. So I'm going to base with this. And then after that, fine basing texture dries, which takes a little bit. I'm just using a strong tone or a brown wash to kind of dirty up that gray, give it a little bit of shadow, a little depth. And then following that, I'm going to use a light or bright neutral gray to highlight that basing texture back up. Again, just giving it a little more depth. And then I'm going to paint the base rim using this satin black, but you can use any black color of your choosing. And then here is going to be my results. So I hope you guys like this one. Appreciate you joining me and sticking with me till the end. Thanks so much for watching, and please like and subscribe. Thanks.